Washington's clear-thinking headquarters. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
7:37 Morning Majority. Brian Eamon, Mary Walter in this morning. Pleased to be joined now by Lou Dobbs, anchor of the Fox Business Show. Lou Dobbs Tonight. You can watch him 7 o'clock tonight on Fox Business Channel. Also hosts the syndicated radio show, Lou Dobbs Show. Good morning, Lou. How are you?
Well, great to be with you, Brian. I'm doing well.
Good. Well, the jobs numbers came out on Friday, and they were pretty good. 230,000 jobs added in the private sector, a couple of cuts from the government. What do you make of the report, and does it mean that we're starting to fly a little bit, at least when it comes to the economy?
Well, we may not be flying, but at least it looks like we're on takeoff, and I have to tell you, Brian, I was thrilled. Mm-hmm. The news has been so dire of late that I'll take any good news. The situation we have in housing in this country right now, the joblessness that persists 3 years into to whatever we wanted to style this great recession as. We've been in recovery since the second half of 2009, and we still have just about 15 million people unemployed. I'll take it. I'll celebrate it.
Right. I know there's obviously the big fights this week with the potential of the government shutdown on Friday, but I think the bigger battle is the 2012 budget.
No doubt.
And Paul Ryan gave us a little preview of that yesterday on Fox News Sunday, essentially saying, hey, we're going to cut $4 trillion over 10 years, and we are going to go after Medicaid and Medicare and even Social Security, but especially Medicare and Medicaid. And he says, you know what, if the Democrats want to use that to their political advantage, we understand that's coming. If they want to demagogue, go for it, but this is what we're going to do. I'm curious as to whether, and I know everything's in the details,
sure,
but what is your take on going after entitlements and the political ramifications of that? How can the Republicans handle that and use it to maybe even to their advantage?
Well, I think Paul Ryan is chairman of the Budget Committee. The Republican leadership have done themselves proud. This is time for grown-up work, and this is truly setting a standard and saying this is what we're going to, this is who we are, this is what we're going to try to achieve, and we understand the consequences, given the third rail of politics, which has always been Social Security, could be significant. I salute Paul Ryan. I salute the Republican Party for what they've accomplished here. I'm an independent. I am not one who is particularly thrilled with either party.
Sure.
But these Republicans are showing real courage. They've taken a clear, unequivocal position, and it's what's required if we're going to survive as a truly great nation.
Lou, as expected, the president has announced his re-election campaign starting up, and he's billing this as the first $1 billion campaign. $1 billion. Okay, for him to get re-elected, $1 billion. What does that say about his confidence?
Well, it says a lot about his values, his orientation. He seems to be focused on spending big, doesn't he?
Other people's money.
I just can't imagine, Mary, a president coming saying, one of his great proud hallmarks of his campaign and ambition is to spend $1 billion on re-election. I could understand if he were articulating a vision for America, saying precisely where he's going to try to take the country, but he's talking about precisely how much money he wants to spend to be reelected. I find that I find that disappointing.
Well, he's stimulating the economy if he does that, spreading around all the
right.
all the campaign stuff.
It's for all of us.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot that would really just benefit all of mankind and spread into the cosmos.
Yeah.
Great joy and thrills a minute.
You brought up independents, and they're all obviously very vital when it comes to winning elections. Independents, on how, they seem to be concerned about the economy for sure, and seem to be concerned about out-of-control spending. I'm wondering whether or not you think that independents are willing to say, hey, we'll bite the bullet. We want entitlement reform. And if you are going to talk about entitlement reform, we're more likely to actually vote for you than the other way around.
I think your construction is exact. Independents are insisting on far less nonsense. And as you see in every poll, Brian, independents are far more skeptical of government. They're certainly more skeptical of this administration. And it's time, I would think, that the Obama political team were advising this president to stop with the redistributionist nonsense, stop with the Messiah halo, implications, and get straightforward to the hard work of getting this country turned around. To me, if you give me just 2 seconds, I mean, we have a president who is, with a drop of a hat, committing this country and our troops to conflict in Libya. Mm-hmm. Whether you want to style it a time-limited, scope-limited military action or war, let's settle it at conflict. But will not focus his energies and that of his administration on restoring prosperity to the nation. And no other single issue would so dominate 2012 as if this administration could be effective in restoring jobs, rejuvenating the economy, and is that terrible cliche suggests, but it's so apt and so true. A rising tide lifts all boats. And this is the most powerful economy on earth, and this president seems to think it really just requires one more government program after the next instead of strong, positive leadership. That's truly the opportunity here for this president, for both political parties, and it seems that Paul Ryan and the Republicans have understood that message first.
Switching gears here a little bit, what happened with the Koran burning in Florida, and now Hamid Karzai is now demanding that American politicians condemn the Koran burning, and Obama said in a written statement that Terry Jones's actions marked, quote, an act of extreme intolerance and bigotry, but didn't note that the Muslim response to it was an extreme act of intolerance. But now Harry Reid was on Face the Nation, and he was asked if Congress would pass a resolution condemning this, and he said, we'll take a look at this. Do you think they're going to do it?
I certainly hope not. This is not an appropriate place for a president to involve himself. For that matter, it's not an appropriate place for General David Petraeus to have involved himself, now for the second time. The commanding general of the theater to say that burning a Koran in Gainesville, Florida, with as many as 20 people present to witness it and put it on YouTube, is setting back the U.S. war effort. First of all, is just a pathetic statement from one of the leading generals on that general staff. It is unbecoming that officer, and I think really the commander-in-chief to weigh in on it, as well as Petraeus, is just ignorance. I can't say it any other way.
All right, Lou. Always good to have you on the show, and we'll be watching tonight, Lou Dobbs Show, Fox Business Channel, 7 o'clock. Thanks for your time, as always, Lou.
Great to be with you guys.